Today, we're going to talk about one of the most painful patterns in human experience, the toxic relationship loop. If you've ever found yourself asking, why do I keep choosing the same type of person? Or why does this keep happening to me? Then this video is for you. By the end of this session, you will understand why that loop exists, how it operates beneath your conscious awareness, and most importantly, how to break it using a practical and repeatable framework. So, let us begin. You know the feeling. A new relationship begins. It feels different this time. You tell yourself, this person is nothing like the last one. But within weeks or months, you realize something unsettling. You are back in that same pattern. The details are different, the face is different, but the emotional experience is identical. Maybe it's the partner who is emotionally unavailable, always just out of reach. Maybe it's the partner who needs you to fix them, who cannot function without your constant support. Or maybe it's the partner who makes you feel small, who diminishes your light so that they can feel bigger. This is the loop. It is not a coincidence. It is not bad luck. It is not that you are choosing wrong. It is an unconscious pattern. And today we're going to bring it to the light. So what is the loop? The loop is an unconscious pattern that keeps you trapped in the same emotional experience, relationship after relationship. It has three components. First, unresolved emotion. You carry an unresolved emotion from your past. It might be abandonment. It might be unworthiness. It might be the fear of being seen. This emotion was never fully felt. It was never fully processed. Now it lives in your body, waiting to be healed. Second, the unconscious attraction. Because this emotion is unresolved, you unconsciously attract partners who will trigger it. You do not consciously, your conscious mind wants a healthy, loving relationship. But your unconscious mind is trying to heal the wound by recreating the original experience to give you an opportunity to do so. And third, repetition. You repeat the pattern, hoping that this time it's going to be different. You hope that this person will finally choose you. This person will finally see you. This person will finally heal the wound. But they cannot, because the wound is not theirs to heal. It's yours. And until you heal it, the loop will continue. Now, I would like to reframe something for you. In my work, I teach that life is not a single game. There are many, many, many games that we can play. Any human endeavor that you could contemplate or consider, we could consider it to be a game. Now, some of those games are optional. You have the fame game, you have the career game, you have the academia game, you have the religion game, you have the activist game. I could go on forever. None of those things are mandatory. You get to choose those. But then we have four games which are mandatory, four games which every human being has to play. And these four games are the health game, because if you don't make time for health, you have to make time for sickness. It's a binary choice. The wealth game, because if you don't make time for abundance, you have to make time for scarcity, another binary choice. The relationship game, because if you don't make time for connection, you have to make time for isolation, another binary choice. And the meaning game, because if you don't make time to find real fulfillment, you're going to have to make time for suffering at some point down the line. And we all play this binary game in these four different areas. And if we look at the relationship game there, most people think that it's about finding the one, about finding your soulmate, finding the person who completes you. But that is not how the relationship game works. The relationship game is not about finding the right person, it is about becoming the right person. Relationships are a mirror. They reflect back to you the parts of yourself that are unresolved, unintegrated, unhealed. So the winning strategy is not to search harder. You could say it's to integrate harder. And here is the strategy. 1. Relationships are a mirror for your own growth. Every partner is showing you something about yourself. Number 2, integrate unresolved parts of yourself first. Heal the wound before you seek the relationship. Number 3, choose partners consciously, not unconsciously. Pause before engaging and ask, is this person capable of meeting me? And number 4, know when to walk away. Not every connection is meant to last. Some of those experiences are teachers, not final destinations. When you understand these 4 key points, the relationship game transforms. It transforms from a source of pain into a path of personal liberation. So why does the loop exist? Why is that a thing? Well, the reason it exists is because you are at a deeper level, a sub-perceptual level, let's say, trying to heal an old wound through another person. Let me give you 3 examples here. The 3 most common loops that I've seen in my work. We have the abandonment loop. You keep choosing partners who are emotionally unavailable. They are always just out of reach. They never fully commit. And the root of this is, I am not worthy of being chosen. Now, this belief most probably was formed in childhood. Perhaps a parent who was absent or emotionally distant. And now you unconsciously create that experience, hoping that this time you will be chosen. We have the savior loop. You keep choosing partners who are broken and need fixing. You become their therapist, their healer, their savior. And the root of this is, I am only valuable when I'm needed. Now, this belief was most probably formed when you learned that love is conditional and that you must earn it by being useful, by sacrificing yourself. How many of our childhoods sound like that? How many of our early life experiences feel like that? It's no fault of parenting, but it often falls into this. The child doesn't behave, the connection, the love is removed. We then have the intensity loop. You keep choosing partners who bring drama, chaos, and intensity. When the relationship is calm, you feel bored. You confuse intensity with passion. And the root is, if it is not intense, it is not real. What a funny story that is to tell yourself. And this belief was most probably formed when you learned that love is volatile, that connection only exists in the highs and the lows, not in the steady, grounded middle. Do any of these 3 resonate with you? Do you see or feel any of your relationship experiences being defined or described here? If so, know this. The loop is not a flaw, it is a teacher. And if you're watching this video, you are ready to graduate. So how do you break the loop? Well, you alchemize the unresolved emotion. Emotional alchemy is the process of transforming unresolved emotions into integrated wisdom. It is not about bypassing the emotion or suppressing or repressing. It's not about thinking positive or letting it go. It is about feeling it fully, breathing it through, and integrating the lesson. And here are the 3 steps. Step 1 is awareness. Identify the pattern, name the emotion, say it out loud. I keep choosing people who abandon me. It is not self-judgments. It is radical self-honesty. Step 2 is to feel. Do not bypass the emotion that comes up. Sit with it, be with it, breathe into it, and let it move through you. Emotion is energy in motion. It's designed to move. It's designed to create a sense where we feel like we need to move in response. It needs to be felt, not suppressed. we push it down and try to ignore it, it doesn't serve its purpose and it hangs around waiting for an opportunity to do so. Step 3, integrate. Ask, when feeling this emotion, what is this pattern teaching me? What part of me needs to be healed? Listen for the wisdom. The emotion is not the enemy, it is the messenger. And here is the promise. When you alchemize the emotion, you no longer need the pattern. When you alchemize the emotion, you no longer need the pattern. The loop dissolves. Now, let me give you a practical framework, a step-by-step process to interrupt the pattern and choose differently. This is not theory. This is a repeatable process that works. Here are the 4 steps. Step 1. Here are the 4 steps. Step 1. Identify your loop. Reflect on your past relationships and name the pattern. See if you can see a consistency, something that keeps coming up, and name it, call it out, define it. Step 2, locate the root. See if you can trace the first point that came up. Now, it may be that you can. It may be that it's an abandonment issue and one of your parents left when you were younger and you have gone through what we have already explained in this video. And you can see it obviously, but maybe you can't because maybe you were just a little baby at the time and maybe you were laying in the crib and you went to cry out for your mother at the same time as she received a phone call and had to leave the room. She just left the room because she didn't realize you were awake. She didn't want to wake you up. But as you went to call out for her, she left and you didn't understand this as a baby. And you picked up a sense of abandonment and you started being a bit more needy as a baby and snowballed from there. That might be harder to see because it's probably not stored in your memory. But as much as you can, see if you can trace this back. See if you can find the point of creation or at least the earliest point of memory. Step 3, alchemize the emotion. Use emotional alchemy to transform the wound. Just feel it. I know it might feel intense in the moment, but feel it, breathe it, and let it go. And when you are feeling into this, when you are connecting with that emotion, know that in the moment that this pattern was created and the emotion came up, these things develop themselves within you as a protection mechanism, as a way to look after yourself in a moment where you didn't understand what was going on. And that's okay. It's completely divine, in fact. But what served us yesterday often hinders us today. So when you feel into this, feel into it with the gratitude of knowing that at one point or another, this came to serve you, it protected you, but now you're ready to let it go. And step 4, set a new standard. Define your healthy boundaries in relationships in regard to this particular area. Don't feel that you have to just run into triggers aimlessly. We're not demonizing triggers here. Triggering is a gift and being triggered is a choice. Why? Because when there is triggering going on, you get an opportunity to look at why you're being triggered and peel back another layer of the onion. It's a signpost in. But to be triggered and to not learn the lesson, well, that's not as productive. And oftentimes we just keep putting ourselves in that position, not doing anything differently. So be completely fine with walking away from the triggers. It's not about self-flagellation here. It's not about punishing yourself. So when you set that new standard, define healthy boundaries and walk away from the triggers. Now, let's go through each of these steps in a bit more detail because it's important. So, step 1, reflecting on your past relationships and naming the pattern. This is where the work really begins, and here is what you're going to do. So, list your past relationships. Write down your last 3 or 5 significant relationships that you've had, not just romantic, any relationship that had an emotional charge, because this may come out in other relationships, not just those intimate romantic ones that you have. Number 2, identify the common thread between them. Look for the pattern. What is the common thread? What is the common pattern of behavior? Is it unworthiness? Is it the savior complex we were talking about? Is it chaos and intensity? Can you see one of those three very common patterns emerging in your relationship experiences? Third, name the emotion. What emotion are these relationships triggering? Is it abandonment? Is it fear? Is it shame? Name it. Say it out loud. Write it down on a piece of paper. Don't hide from it. Don't hide from it. It's a messenger. We need to shoot the messenger. We need to thank the messenger and wish it on its way. And number four, write it down. Complete this sentence. I keep attracting partners who, da, 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 because I feel, da, 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 da. For example, I keep attracting partners who are emotionally unavailable because I feel unworthy of being chosen. This isn't easy work. I didn't say it was going to be. Maybe I should put a disclaimer at the start of the video in the description below. Because it isn't easy work, but it is liberating work. It is liberating. And while it might be intense in the moment and not easy in the moment, I guarantee you that this short visit of intensity is far easier than going through countless more relationships where you're having to deal with this. Let this be the turning point. Let this be the turning point. Because once you see that pattern, you can't unsee it. Now, you may see it and still not be ready to let it go. That's just the way people are. We get a little bit too familiar with our limitations, get comfortable with them. But nonetheless, seeing it is the first step. Hopefully you're ready to take the following steps straight away. So, step 2, locate the root. So now that you've named the pattern, it is time to trace it back to its origin as best as you can. Now, this may take more than one sitting. Be with yourself. Like I said, this is important work. So first ask yourself the question, when did I feel this emotion? When's the earliest time that I can remember? Close your eyes, take a breath, ask the question and wait. Might be obvious, it might not be. But give yourself the space for it to come up. Second step, go back in time. Allow a memory from childhood to surface. Don't force it. Just see if it will come. Maybe it's a moment when you felt abandoned. Maybe it's a moment where you felt unseen. Hold the space for it to arise. Number 3, see the belief. In that moment that you find in your childhood, you formed a belief about yourself. What was it? I'm not enough. I'm only valuable when I'm needed. Love is dangerous. See the belief, name the belief. Define it. And then fourth, acknowledge it. Say to yourself, this is where the pattern began. And here is the truth of the situation. The pattern is not who you are. It is a strategy that you learned in order to survive. That's it. And it may have been there so long, it feels like it's who you are. It's kind of interwoven itself with your identity. And just having this conversation seems ridiculous. How can sitting down and asking myself a few questions change who I am at that fundamental level? Well, it can, because it's not you. It can because it's something that you picked up along the way. And anything that you pick up, you can put down again. That's what we're doing here. It served you then, but it does not serve you now. And you are ready to let it go. Otherwise, you wouldn't have watched the video this far. Step 3, alchemize the emotion. And this is where transformation happens. This is where the rubber kind of hits the road. So here is the process. Sit with the emotion. Do not numb it. Do not distract yourself. Allow that feeling to be present within you. Now, this might be uncomfortable. That's fine. Discomfort is not danger. Think about it like this. You're letting go of an energy right now. You're letting go of a dense emotion. Imagine you have food poisoning and you start vomiting because the body's getting rid of the poison. It doesn't taste very good when it's coming out, does it? It's the same principle here. And I'm sorry to be disgusting. I hope you're not eating right now. But if you are purging and vomiting because you have food poisoning and it's really uncomfortable, you're not going to push it back in and try to stop. It doesn't make any sense, does it? So don't do it here. Just understand that there will be a discomfort, but it is not danger. You're letting go and you're releasing. Second step here is to a second step here is to use the sacred breath to move the energy through your body. Breathe in through your nose for 4 counts, hold it for 4, and breathe out again through your nose or through your mouth for 6. And repeat that on cycle. I say in through the nose and out through the mouth, or in through the nose and out through the nose. If you keep in and out both through the nose, it generally tends to be a less distracted process because you're not considering which one to change. You're just mouth closed doing it. You might have a bit of a blocked up nose. I want you to be able to breathe. So do what's comfortable, but my advice would always actually be nose and nose. And as you're doing this, just breathe it through. Allow that sacred breath to run through you while it's in the presence of this feeling of emotion. While it's coming up, let the sacred breath cleanse it, and you will feel the emotion moving. You'll feel the emotion dissolving, dissipating, and releasing. And run the cycle of breath. 4 in, hold for 4, release for 6. Repeat that at least 10 times, but it's a delicious process, so you might want to stay there a bit longer. You do you. The third stage here is integrate. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Once you've completed those breaths, sit there in that Zen state and ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Listen for the wisdom. As you said multiple times, the emotion is not the enemy, it is the messenger. Maybe the wisdom is, I am already whole and I do not need anyone to complete me. Maybe the wisdom is, I am worthy of love simply because I exist. Listen and receive. And fourth, rewrite the belief. Replace the old belief with a new one. I am unworthy becomes I am whole. I am only valuable when I am needed becomes I am valuable simply because I exist. Say it out loud. Feel it in your body. This is emotional alchemy. Sit with, breathe, integrate, rewrite. Move it around. We're going to step 4. Defining what a healthy relationship looks like and walking away from anything less. Because now you've alchemized that emotion, the stickiness, the glue that keeps the pattern in place. It's time to set a new standard. And here's how. Define your non-negotiables. Identify the core values that must be present in any relationship. It could be respect, availability, honesty, consistency, whatever it is for you. Write them down. Second, create boundaries. Decide what behavior you will no longer tolerate. Manipulation, silence, untrustworthiness, emotional unavailability. What are they for you? Be specific here. Third, walk away. Commit to leaving the moment a boundary is repeatedly crossed. Not after the third time, not after you've given them a whole host of chances. The moment it is clear they cannot meet you, walk away. Honor yourself. And fourth, choose consciously. Pause before engaging with a new person. Ask yourself, is this person capable of meeting me? Not, do I feel a spark? Do they turn me on? Do they excite me? No. Ask the question. Ask yourself, can they meet me in the values that I have defined? This is how you break the loop. But what changes when you break the loop? What happens when you do this? Let me give you a little timeline. If you follow the things we've talked about in this video, in the first week or two, it's increased awareness. You begin to see this loop that you've had running on repeat clearly. You stop blaming the other person and you see the pattern. This is arguably the hardest part because it requires radical self-honesty, and because at this moment you are working with the program while it's at its deepest level of attachment to you. So you continue to move through it. These things start to loosen. But this first stage, when you are still very much attached to it, and you're having to really go into radical self-honesty, it can be really challenging. But it's so unbelievably worthwhile. This is the work of a lifetime. Then you get to weeks 3 to 4, and this is where you start to go into the alchemy process. You start to sit with the emotion more instinctively rather than running from it. And the charge just naturally dissipates itself. You feel lighter, you feel more grounded. You're not bouncing around like a paper bag in the wind. You are just feeling more centered. You're moving energy through you. You're not holding on to these things. And when you start to get to month 2 and 3, you start to get a sense of neutrality. You realize that the attraction to the old pattern doesn't exist anymore. The spark that you had with toxic partners disappears. You might even feel bored by all of the drama that used to get you going and excited and turn you on. This is a good sign. It's a really good sign. And month 4 and beyond is just freedom. You begin to attract partners who are available, who are kind, who are consistent. The relationships feel different. They're calmer, they're steadier, they're more real. But this isn't a quick fix. This is a transformation. And it is worth every single moment you put into it. Your relationships at a very real level define a lot of our life experience. And if you are having these difficulties with toxic relationships, then redefine the experience of the rest of your life. Like, this investment of your time and energy will pay dividends over and over and over again. This is worth every moment you put into it. And here is what I would like you to remember, is that this loop is not a flaw, it's a teacher. It has been showing you again and again the part of yourself that needs to be healed. And now you have the awareness and you have the tools to heal it. Your next step is simple. Identify your loop, locate the root, alchemize the emotion, and set a new standard. Do this work. Do it with honesty. Do it with compassion. Do it with self-love. Do it with a certainty that you are ready for a different experience of this. And watch as the patterns dissolve and completely dissipate into nothing. And see what is remaining. See the beauty of life that remains when all of this nonsense is gone. Because here is the truth. You are not broken. You are waking up. And the relationships game is about to change forever.